Hey everybody, in front of me today is the very large 1/6 scale shredder from Redcat Racing. In comparison, here's the 1/18 scale Teton from the tracks. Yeah, this thing is huge. After going a couple years on hiatus, Redcat Racing brought the shredder back. Bigger tires, better shocks, other improvements that make it even a little bit stronger and more competitive in the large scale RC market. So let's take a look at what makes up the shredder. First thing you notice is we've got a 3mm chassis. It's 6061 aluminum 3mm chassis. So that's your foundation for everything else that comes with the shredder. Total length on this thing is 26 inches. It comes in at about 17 inches wide. Overall height is 9 inches and the wheelbase is 19 inches. You got a two-piece tire wheel combination here. It's a bead-locked wheel and it's secured with a 17mm hex. Got about 3 inches of ground clearance here. And getting into some of the components, you've got a transmission that's forward and reverse. You've got a HEXFLY servo. It's the HX15S. It's a 4-wheel drive system powered by a 1300 kV brushless motor. So the shocks are aluminum capped, oil filled, big bore shocks, massive to say the least. The speed controller here is a Hobbywing SC8 ready to run. It's 80 amp brushless ESC from Hobbywing. It says that it's waterproof, but Hobbywing clearly says don't submerge it in water. Powering everything is two 2S LiPos. You can also run a 4 to 6 cell nickel metal hydride or NiCad. So essentially we're running 4S and 2S in series, which makes it a 4S system. Okay, the radio is a 2.4 gigahertz radio system. It's a RCR2CE. It's kind of a generic radio system, but you do have steering reverse, throttle reverse. It's got the bind button in there. You've got steering trim, throttle trim, and you do have steering dual rates. So overall, it's a fairly comfortable. It's light, it's small, it's balanced pretty well. The spring it feels good, and it does have good range so far, being that 2.4 gigahertz. So fairly happy with this so far. Talking about those components, Redcat Racing uses electronics from companies like Hobbywing and FlySky to manage some of the expenses that they have with this truck. The companies are global. They're not necessarily all that well known in the United States unless you spend a lot of time in the forums, you've seen the names. But Hobbywing does have a North American division. So you do see them around a little bit more, and the parts are easily found online should something happen. And I'm okay with this. I've not had any problems or any unusual electronics failures to date with any of my vehicles that have the Hobbywing or FlySky stuff. And even if I did, it's cheap and affordable to replace them. So I find them to be a pretty good option when you're looking at budget RC. So here's where we get to the interesting part. The cost of the truck, I think that's the best part. It's only $399. Let me say that again. The massive 1/6 scale Redcat Racing shredder is only $399. That's phenomenal. I'm reminded of the saying, you get what you pay for. So is the shredder worth it? Let's find out. So we spent the last few weeks bashing the shredder, and we really enjoy its driving characteristics. Powered by the two MAXAMP 7.4 2S 8000 milliamp batteries, it's fast. Matter of fact, I got it clocked on radar. Top speed right now is about 40 miles an hour, running the 4S. So most people coming to large scale RC aren't doing it as their first vehicle. They've a lot of times been in 1/10, maybe 1/8. And because of that, the driving experience, you got to understand, it's just a little bit different here. At high speed, the long wheelbase and width really provide great stability. And again, we're pushing 40 miles an hour on 4S with this, so it does get up to pretty good speed. It's when you decide to turn that the shredder really kind of makes you think twice. In a high grip environment like grass, it really pushes through corners quite aggressively, and it doesn't really want to turn as sharp as the wheels might suggest that it's going to turn. So what you have to do is you kind of have to let off the throttle just a little bit, get into the turn, and then you can get back on the throttle and power right out of it. So why MAXAMP's batteries? Well, simple. Part of the $399 price tag is because Redcat doesn't include the batteries with the truck, and that's not uncommon in this scale. So of course I go to MAXAMPs because they've been incredibly reliable and consistent packs for me in the long run. So if you're paying attention, you heard 2S or 4S when running in series. So why not 6S Redcat Racing? It has to do with that $399 price tag. Redcat Racing wants to offer the lowest cost, large scale RC it can that still has a quality build. If you want more speed, the chassis and suspension will easily hold an upgraded ESC or ESC motor combo. This price point helps break people into the larger scale RC where other similar scales are twice as much or more. So is the Shredder perfect? No, it's not. I did have a couple problems, so far running the first few weeks. The first thing is I did break the upper control arm, and it was kind of a weak point there right on the threads. It happened after taking a high-speed wheel landing. So basically, as I was coming down, I kind of hit that one wheel, and that caused the truck to kind of flip end over end this way. Surprisingly, I didn't break the wing because it took several tumbles, and as a result, I broke the upper A-arm. Okay, and then in a second, I lost the spur gear. So despite verifying the gear mesh when I got it, the motor is secured with four screws, and everything looked good when I initially got it, but I suppose through a few too many jumps and crashes, it did come loose, and I didn't catch it. And I ended up with a $34 bill for a new spur gear differential. So not inspecting the truck before the next set of fresh batteries is a ridiculous mistake on my part. It has nothing to do with the truck itself. It was more my fault than anything. So if I can give you one tip here, it's inspect your vehicles regularly. Do it before you go out for another drive and find out if anything happened on that last run. So that basically wraps up my review of the Redcat Racing Shredder. I think for what you get, if you're looking to get into large scale RC, it's an interesting choice. It'll definitely save you money at $399, and I've got all the links in the description below for some of the stuff that we've been talking about today. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment, and I'll be happy to answer as many questions as I can. Thanks. See you next time.